Welcome back to the Shuffle Squad. Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be covering over Miraidon EX, one of the top decks in the Prismatic Evolutions format. And those are words that I didn't necessarily think that I was going to say today, but after looking at the top decks in our Prismatic Evolutions format, we've seen how this deck does well against both Gardevoir EX and Lugia V-Star. Now, having access to Iron Hands against a bunch of weak routes, and of course being a Lightning type deck in the format sounds great. Also, with Budew available in the format, this deck doesn't really take too much of a loss towards it. I mean, you still can stop those electric generators, but we can still use those electric generators turn 1 or turn 2. But mainly, Budew is countering some of the other decks that might have countered Miraidon EX before, such as Terrapago's Dusknoir and Charizard EX, both taking a little bit of a step back. Miraidon EX, with all of this stuff paving the way for its success, seems like it's well poised, at least in our metagame right now. In this video, I'll be covering over this deck list here, some strategy, and some TCG live gameplay. If that sounds like a plan to you, be sure to give this video a big like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're so close to 25k subs. And of course, let me know what you think about Miraidon in the comments of this video, or just leaving any comment really does help boost the YouTube algorithm. Miraidon EX is mainly going to be there to use tandem units onto getting our lightning type Pokemon out of our deck and putting them onto our bench. That's going to allow us to have targets for Electric Generator, accelerating energies to those Pokemon, and maybe you'll be able to attack with a big Raikou V with Area 0 Underdepths because of Pikachu EX, or that coveted turn 1 Iron Hands EX attack with a double turbo. You might be seeing that this list is pretty much exactly the same as it always has been. I think the only change that we've really seen is cutting out a boss's orders, which a lot of lists play for, and adding in a Rotom V. Rotom V is going to be for when you go first, because your opponent opted to go second, you have an opportunity to use its ability to draw 3 cards instead of just passing your turn. It's searchable by tandem units, and of course, it takes some pressure off of you having a Pokemon in play for 4 Seal Stone. If you're going second, it's charge to the races, where we're just going to be using all of our abilities, all of our things to try to get off that turn 1 attack that makes this deck so aggressive. I think that we're really going to showcase how this could work in some games, and how we're going to pivot our attackers, but mainly we're going to be using Miraidon against Pokemon that have 220 to 230 HP. We could always do some extra damage with Zapdos if necessary. Iron Hands EX is going to be for our Amp You Very Much attack, so maybe it's going to be a single prize card Pokemon, or a Pokemon that we can just knock out with Amp You Very Much. Magneton is going to help us get to some later game energies if necessary. Pikachu is going to be for that Area 0 Underdepths, allowing you to expand your bench. Raikou is going to be a decent moderate attacker, especially getting a little bit better with Area 0. Raichu V is going to be for any of our big attackers that we might face, such as a Charizard EX or a Dragapult EX. And of course, we have a bunch of other tech cards that help glue this deck together. The list is available in the description of this video, so you can copy and paste that right into PTCG Live. And if you need any of the cards for this deck, check out our sponsors at Kayfabe Cards. For in real life versions of the cards, they'll ship it to pretty much anywhere, and that's where I get all of my cards from. Or you can go to ptcgostore.com and use code TSS5 to save 5% off your order of online code cards and craft this deck online. That being said, I do want to jump into some gameplay and show you exactly what this deck can do. So our opponent won the coin flip, and they're going to decide who goes first. Hopefully they decide that they go first. We're going to go first. That gives us an opportunity to utilize our Rotom strategy if given the chance. And it looks like we are. So let's go ahead, and we're going to start with probably just the Miraidon. Or maybe Pikachu's better. I'm honestly unsure when it comes to an attack, like maybe Budew hitting Pikachu. I mean, if they bring up the Pikachu, that's fine. So we're actually going to start with the Pikachu because we're not going to be able to really Electric Generator to anything else. And there's the Budew. Great, cool, awesome, swag. Let's go Miraidon. And let's go set up with tandem units. Let's just get set up with a copy of Miraidon, and we're going to go for a copy of Rotom. So that's going to allow us to use our Tandem unit again. And let's go ahead and search out an Iron Hands and probably a Raikou. Sounds pretty good to me. We'll see if we can, there's like a Latias or something. Yeah, we're pretty chilling on everything here. So let's go ahead and go for those. Since we've thinned out our deck enough, I'm going to go for Electric Generator. Awesome. There's an energy. There's another energy. And since we have Area 0, I don't want to play it down because a lot of these Bidoof decks do play a lot of other stadiums. Let's go ahead and go for Instant Charge. So on your first turn, there's not really much you can do anyways. We're just going to go ahead and have access to stuff. And we have Area 0. At least I know for sure I could retreat into... we can go... It looks like we're actually able to go turn 2 attack with Ampy very much into our opponent's Bidoof, which could really slow them down as long as we have access to Escape Board or Rescue Board or whatever it's called. So let's just go for Arven. We do not have access to the board. Let's grab Secret Box because that can be awesome. Now we can retreat and use our first attack, amp you very much into, or not amp you very much, arm press into their Bidoof. So that's reasonable. It sucks that we don't have access to our board to retreat because you can play Pokemon tools there. Okay, let's go Area 0. Let's go ahead and use Star Alchemy. We're going to search for the piece. Don't get fancy and try to search for like an Ultra Ball or something because you won't be able to use it on your Bidoof. It would have been nice to be able to search for the double turbo energy there so we could have got off amp, but you know, that's how things don't be doing. Let's go ahead and use Tandem unit. Let's get another Pokemon in play. Zapdos, I don't think the math matters too much. We're hitting for 160. Yeah, probably not using it overall here. Just really wanted to double check. Let's go ahead and bundle, maybe bundle something up. I mean, I guess our opponent would have to retreat into another one and use Bidoof again. I think for us, I'm okay with going... Do I want to bundle? They send up 1, and then I get another prize card. Yeah, I think I end up taking 3 prize cards that way. So let's go Hyper Blower. They're going to send up their 1 without the board, or they might concede if their hand's slower. Oh, what? I don't know why they just give up free retreat like that. We're going to retreat here. We could still attach our Bravery Charm somewhere. I think I'm going to hold off on it for a little bit. And I'm just going to go Arm Press here for the knockouts. It's only worth 1 prize card, so it would have been nice if we had access to our board. Watch me draw the board off the prize cards. Not the board. But you can see that, like, even under item lock, we're able to get somewhat set up. And given a little bit of a better circumstance, or maybe a little bit luckier, we would have been okay. We don't have a way to do that exact same play next turn. But you can see that our opponent's already playing cards like Lumineon. That could be a 3 prize card Pokemon for us, and then we're down to 2 prize cards. Maybe they'll use Dusklops or Dusknoir. But we do have upwards of a 2 prize card Pokemon in the active as long as we're able to slap on a singular energy. And with the way that our opponent's setting up their board this turn, if they don't put a Duskull down, there's a very real chance that our opponent cannot knock out our Iron Hands in the active, and we're just like built for the rest of the game. So overall, Miraidon's doing pretty cool. I also really like the new art of the Iron Hands EX. So there's the Itchy Pollen, whatever, doesn't really matter too much. At this point, I'm just going to slap on a Lightning Energy so that we're able to use Ampy very much. I don't think there's a world where our opponent can actually knock us out. If they use something like Radiant Alakazam, they can move from the Pikachu to the active. There's no way to do an extra 10 damage. They'll also have to just go Sparkling Crystal to bring something up. I think honestly, I just want this to survive no matter what. So in case our opponent does do something cool, I am going to keep it like this. And I'm just going to go Ampy very much if they don't go for Itchy Pollen again. And the more that they go Itchy Pollen, the more they're just going to go down prize cards. I think we are able to go Ultra Ball away, whatever cards we want. And we're able to go for Boss's Orders. Boss's Orders bring up Lumineon and win the game. Most of the list don't really have an answer to that, so we'll deal with that how it goes on. When it comes to Pokemon that we probably want to discard down, there's 3, 4, 5, 6. I think what I'm going to end up discarding is just I don't really care about having a large bench ever again. I could just discard the Pikachu. How many area zeros have we used? I'm just trying to think if I'd want to discard the Pikachu and take off a potential Pokemon our opponent could knock out. Yeah, I think I'm going to discard that. I maybe could have kept it for Area 0. Actually, I should have kept it for Area 0. That's honestly a big mistake on my behalf. Because then I could have just used it for the boss's orders to get there. So I should have discarded a Miraidon. I was debating between that or the Rotom, but if our opponent ever like used Iono or something on us, we could have used Instant Charge. So definitely just a little bit of a misclick, not a misclick, a misplay. It would have been better to go for the Miraidon EX, discarding it, since we already have 2 in play. And then at that point, we are able to go ahead and use Lumineon or just put extra Pokemon down on our bench now that we're probably having access to our items. Luckily, we have access to Latias, we have access to everything else. We also have access to Secret Box in our hand. So it doesn't really matter. We're not going to be punished for it, especially since our opponent's playing Arven and not Iono. I don't think our opponent actually can knock out our Iron Hands, and they can't get rid of their Lumineon since they played a Town Store. They already played Sparkling Crystal, so they can't play Scoop Up Cyclone. They've already played a supporter for their turn, so they can't play Penny or Turo, and they've already gone ahead and played a Stadium, so they can't play Collapsed. I don't really know of anything else that allows them to get anything else up active. So while they are able to go Fandom Dive and draw 2 prize cards, they should have knocked something out, because this also opens up the Lumineon play that I thought I was already making a mistake about. And again, it's still a mistake that I made, but this is going to allow us to get around. Dragapult's not really about drawing prize cards. That might sound silly, but it's really about winning the game or setting up damage counters so your opponent doesn't have access. We have access to like Fezandipiti and stuff now too, but I'm just going to send up the Iron Hands here, and we don't even need to use Secret Box. Our deck is just perfect. So let's go ahead and we're going to go Amp before our opponent concedes the game, and we will draw our 3 prize cards there to win the game. We don't need to attach an extra energy. We just have game in hand, because drawing an extra prize card on that Lumineon to draw 3 prize cards total is great. And this game would have gone even better had we not prized the board. So your opponent can have a bit of a slower start. A lot of these Bidoof decks are a little bit slow. You can see that our opponent might be able to get 1 attack off. Iron Hands just applying pressure and forcing your opponent to do something is really why this deck is so powerful in this current format. A lot of these big Stage 2 Pokemon EX decks, Dragapult EX and Gardevoir EX and Lugia, V-Star. These are big HP Pokemon deck that we just have pretty solid matchups into, which makes Iron Hands EX and this Miraidon build so powerful. I'm glad that we could kind of showcase how it works. Go through a game, go through the struggles, see the glory points, see the low points where I'm throwing by discarding the Pikachu, but overall it shows that you could even play the deck better. And I think that it's pretty cool there. So lists available in the description. I have some closing thoughts, so let's jump into those. As you can see, Miraidon EX is incredibly strong in our Prismatic Evolutions format. There was a few other games that I played before choosing this game where either I played against a non-meta relevant deck like Evolutions, or PTCG Live had some glitches. So just so you know, it took a few games to get to this point, but for the most part, Miraidon was able to rip into my opponent's Pokemon, whether it was through itself or one of the various attackers that we have, to see success. I do want to give credit to Josh Frink for this list. I grabbed the exact 60 from his recent tournament win. He had there was a 30-player tournament online. he saw a lot of success there. And overall, I think that it's a powerful choice for this metagame, and it's one of my top choices, at least in my mind right now, for EUIC. So if you're trying to rip into your opponent based off the current metagame, Miraidon EX seems like it could just beat that deck. If you're trying to gain anything or learn anything more about Pokemon TCG before EUIC, Puerto Rico, Merida, even your next League Cup, hit me up for a Pokemon TCG coaching session at metafy.gg/@ZachLesage. Would totally love to help you on your Pokemon TCG journey. And I have all my links available in the description, so be sure to check out all of that. And other than that, I will catch up with you for the next video. Stay tuned for the top 10 best decks launching tomorrow, or check it out whenever you get a chance to watch this video. I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great one. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. Made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.